The world he transmigrated into is filled with players, with survival already a struggle. Moreover, he became entangled with a system to become the most conspicuous NPC. The natives resent him while players see him as a thorn in their side. He needed to strive with all his might to live a good life in this foreign world while avoiding being bullied by the players. He can only turn the sufferings he experienced into the sufferings of others. He would have to keep all the benefits for himself, grow vigorously, and become an invincible boss who could never be defeated by players. This is a tale of the classic fourth calamity story while being struck by the calamity itself. He is Lin Bai, a transmigrator with a carefree appearance but an extremely cunning nature within. The moment he opened his eyes, a notification panel appeared right before him. Chief Supporting Character System. All Things Are Flawed System, God of Cooking System, Emotion System, Know-It-All Teacher System, Divine Tycoon System, Broadly Forging Good Karma System. One pop-up message after another materialized in Lin Bai's mind. He felt dizzy, his head like a computer infected by a virus, constantly loading new programs. System loading. Insufficient physical tolerance. Lin Bai's entire body glowed amid the chaotic energy, warnings indicating that his physical limit was about to reach a critical threshold. Recalling his previous life, he was just a scholar, diligently reading books in the library every day. In one incident, while saving a child on the road, he was sent flying by a truck and ended up in this world. At first, he thought this was just an ordinary transmigration into a cultivation world with familiar ancient settings. He was still wondering how he would survive in this world filled with demons. He didn't expect to stumble upon such good fortune. But this stroke of luck seemed a bit excessive, as system panels appeared densely like a system error, leaving him no time to breathe. He panicked and wondered, could I possibly become the first transmigrator in history to be stuffed to death by systems? Fortunately, the loading process finally stopped, and Lin Bai let out a sigh of relief for managing to keep his small life intact. Looking at the overwhelming number of systems, he muttered, to think I was almost stuffed to death by so many systems. Even a 997 schedule isn't enough to describe my blessing. He angrily jumped onto the pile of system boxes and scolded them. Is this a system or a 360 software family bucket? How could so many download all at once? Other people just get a golden finger. But I'm practically becoming a 1,000-hand Ganyu. Being like malware is one thing, but you almost stuffed me to death and you still dare to compress yourselves back. Finally, Lin Bai discovered that among the chaos, only 4 main systems remained that he could actually use. First was the all things are flawed system. There is no perfect thing in the world. Being flawed is the norm of all things. You must make everyone learn to accept flaws and get used to regrets. Novice mission. Make 10 people experience the flaw of. Reward. 9 eyes true manual. Incomplete. Next was the emotion management system. When you learn to mobilize the emotions of others, you become the master of the world. Joy, anger, sorrow, happiness, and fear. Delve deeply into the mysteries of emotions. Novice mission. Collect a pure emotion directed at you. Reward. Spirit -1. The third was the chief supporting character system. Do not be the first to seek fortune nor the first to cause disaster. A tall tree in the forest will surely be destroyed by the wind. One whose conduct is superior to others will surely be condemned by the masses. If you do not compete, no one in the world can compete with you. Novice mission. Find a boss for yourself. Reward. Fortune 1. The last one was the god of cooking system. Chef. A high-paying profession. Novice mission. First, you must open a restaurant. Reward. 10 taels of silver. Lin Bai looked at the bizarre missions and felt shocked, muttering, the person who invented these systems definitely has something wrong with them. What kind of strange systems and missions are these? He irritably kicked the system box repeatedly and shouted, especially this all things are flawed system. Giving an incomplete reward is one thing, but even the mission description is incomplete, and making others accept flaws, you're just making me accept your utter lack of morals first, huh? Just as he was about to request switching to a more decent system, a voice suddenly called out from reality. Brother Lin, the voice interrupted his thoughts, pulling him out of the chaotic mental space instantly. Lin Bai snapped back to reality, finding himself sitting in a luxurious room facing a young master. Across from him sat a scholar in a white robe, known as Luo Kanwen. Seeing Lin Bai's poor complexion, he asked with concern. Brother Lin, you look terrible. Should we call for a doctor? Lin Bai quickly waved his hand in refusal. Thank you for your concern, Brother Luo. I'll be fine after resting for a while. It's nothing serious. Holding his head, he thought, I almost forgot that to make a living, I was telling stories to this young master. But that was before. Now that I have awakened my systems, no matter how strange they are, I still have to use them. While sipping tea, he calculated, speaking of which, emotions should be the easiest thing to mobilize, right? Seeing him regain composure, Luo Kanwen rubbed his hands, a hint of anticipation flashing in his eyes. Brother Lin, since it's nothing serious, why don't we continue talking about Ning Kaichen? Lin Bai observed Luo Kanwen, considering a suitable entry point for his task. Luo Kanwen, unaware of Lin Bai's unusual demeanor, fired off a barrage of questions. Hurry and tell me what happened after Xiaoqian left. Who is stronger, Grandma Tree Demon or Yan Qixia? Is Ning Kaichen going to take Yan Qixia as his master? Lin Bai revealed a meaningful smile and said, Then Brother Luo, you'll have to prick up your ears and listen carefully. Luo Kanwen sat up straight. Pausing briefly, Lin Bai looked at the attentive Luo Kanwen and began narrating dramatically. It is said that even after Ning Kaichen was warned by Yan Qixia, he still refused to leave, and instead stayed the night at Lanruo Temple. Then, that night, while he was tossing and turning in bed unable to sleep, a noise came from outside the house. Luo Tsongwen's eyes lit up, his body squirming involuntarily. Did Lady Xiaoqian come looking for him? Lin Bai smiled. You guessed it, it was indeed a scene of blazing passion. Ning Kaichen opened the door, and standing right outside was Yan Qixia. A muscular man appeared. Eh? Luo Kanwen was stunned upon hearing this, unable to understand why the romantic plot suddenly took such a turn. Lin Bai explained calmly, Yan Qixia felt that since Ning Kaichen remained stubborn despite being persuaded so many times, he might as well change his approach. The scholar slammed the table angrily and asked, could it be that he wanted to help Ning Kaichen save Lady Xiaoqian? A dark, twisted, and embellished version of the enchanting phantom flowed from Lin Bai's lips. No, he just felt that he shouldn't be wasteful. Luo Kanwen was bewildered. Wasteful? Lin Bai continued, after all, this kid was considered quite fair and tender. So Yan Qixia felt that rather than letting those female ghosts take advantage of him, it would be better for him to kindly accept it. The tragic screams from Lanruo Temple that night startled countless night owls. He put an arm around the scholar and asked, You tell me, Yan Qixia hadn't bathed for who knows how long in Lanruo Temple. He was a bona fide stinky Taoist priest, so how could Ning Kaichen possibly endure that? Luo Tsongwen's expression shifted from anticipation to stunned disbelief, then his face turned beet red. He was obsessed with cultivation and deeply identified with Ning Kaichen. Lin Bai's story usually made him feel as if he were living it, but this episode was completely beyond his expectations. A wave of nausea rose in his throat. Unable to endure it any longer, Luo Kanwen roared, Enough, then flipped the tea table, sending cups and plates flying everywhere. He pointed at Lin Bai, stammering from shock and anger, You. In contrast to that fury, Lin Bai only smiled smugly as a system notification appeared, collected a feeling of anger directed at you, reward, spirit +1, already distributed. He thought to himself, it worked. A mere novice mission, nothing more than this. However, looking at the scholar's state, he felt slightly worried. It's just, how should I pacify this somewhat hot-headed young master? Luo Kanwen slammed the table furiously. Lin Bai, I treated you as a confidant. Why did you make up a story to humiliate me like this? Do you know my identity? Do you know the Luo family's status in Jiamu City? If you spout any more nonsense, I won't even let you leave the Luo manor. Lin Bai froze for a few seconds, but instead of fear, he began calculating. It seems a dose of angry emotion isn't that scary either, or rather, does he want to hear more of the story? Then that makes things easy. He sneered, Don't be hasty, Brother Luo, of course I know your identity, so... Immediately, the system notified, negative emotion side quest activated, collect 10 doses of negative emotions directed at you, reward, spirit +3. Lin Bai suddenly slammed the table and stood up, staring straight into the opponent's eyes and roaring with momentum. And do you know who I am? Luo Kanwen was startled and stepped back, asking blankly, aren't you just some storyteller I found randomly? Lin Bai's gaze suddenly turned sharp, his tone serious. That's just my surface identity, in reality. He suddenly shouted, I am your father. Hearing this, Luo Kanwen was furious to the point of seeing stars and lunged forward. You're courting death. The system notified again, anger from Luo Kanwen, +1. Lin Bai said leisurely, I was hired by your father to get you to focus. Luo Kanwen was stunned. Focus? Lin Bai sighed and nodded, silently taking advantage of seniority. He continued, Brother Luo, you're taking the Yuan-Shi next year. He casually listed a few more plot summaries. Only stories are beautiful. The reality is that even with immense wealth, it's meaningless to the immortal Dao. Ning Saichen's fate is the ultimate end for ignorant fools like you. Luo Kanwen shouted in rage, Stop talking, leave, go tell my father that I won't turn back. Anger from Luo Kanwen, +1. He mocked inwardly, Little punk, you wanted to keep me here just a moment ago. With these successive gains, Lin Bai was even less inclined to leave. He looked stubbornly at Luo Kanwen. I'm not leaving. I made a promise to Master Luo. If I can't persuade you, I won't get my money. Luo Kanwen looked at him with a disdainful gaze. You just want money, right? Anger from Luo Kanwen, +1. He excitedly threw a stack of money at Lin Bai's face, declaring that he would pay double whatever his father had promised, as long as Lin Bai disappeared from his sight. Lin Bai picked up the banknote and examined it, revealing a satisfied smile. Brother Luo's Dao heart is indeed firm and admirable. I, Lin, will take my leave here. After reaping a huge amount of money and system points, Lin Bai cheerfully said goodbye. Even if the deal falls through, righteousness remains. If Brother Luo is interested in hearing stories, you can contact me privately later. Leaving behind Luo Tsongwen's bitter shout, Don't let me see you again. A huge harvest, this way. I have almost enough money to open a restaurant. Brother Luo is truly a good person, giving me both missions and money. He's too honest. Stepping out onto the street, Lin Bai suddenly noticed people rushing toward one direction as if something major had happened. He grabbed an old man to ask, What happened? Why is everyone in such a hurry? The old man replied hastily, replying to the young master, Everyone is going to see the lecture. Lecture? Lin Bai was stunned. They have those in ancient times, even in broad daylight? Seeing Lin Bai's confusion, the old man explained, The young master hasn't gone out these past few days, so you wouldn't know about the many strange things happening in the city lately. People appearing out of nowhere are causing all sorts of trouble in the city. Some are stealing chickens. Others are harassing decent women. What's more, there are even some jumping off buildings. These events have made everyone anxious, and the constables are busy out of their minds. I heard they just caught a new lecher, so we're all going to watch the commotion, taking my leave. He pondered, These behaviors, why do they feel? They don't seem like things locals would do, but rather like my own kind. Since I can load so many systems, there's no reason why a bunch of transmigrators wouldn't appear in this world. Anyway, I'll go take a look first. A young man was bound with heavy chains. He faced accusations and curses from the crowd, along with mud and rotten eggs being thrown at him. Beat him to death. So shameless, groping young girls. We can't let him off. Yet, he remained calm and composed, occasionally even cracking a smile, not taking his capture seriously at all. He still dares to laugh. I'll fucking beat him to death. The shouts of the townspeople echoed through the streets, while the soldiers demanded order as they punished the pervert causing chaos in Jiamu City. Lin Bai passed by the scene, his eyes filled with curiosity, as he observed the chaotic situation before him. Peering through a gap in the crowd, Lin Bai locked eyes with the captured young man. After a quick scan, he was immediately stunned. Above this person's head. Above the man's head, the name player ID mouse shone brightly. What the hell is that? Lin Bai blinked, looking at the man again. The name was still there. He looked toward the surrounding crowd, and a huge suspicion about the world he was living in began to form in his mind. Standing amidst the bustling crowd, Lin Bai froze, his gaze sweeping across unfamiliar faces, yet all of them seemed somewhat off. His eyes suddenly stopped, his face filled with shock. Just as he thought, within the dense crowd, a man and a woman also had names above their heads, Jingmi and Laomi respectively. The man named Jingmi excitedly commented, "Technology has no limits, you can never imagine what kind of bizarre things the scientists up there can create." They continued discussing, everyone has their own thoughts, so vivid and lifelike that it's unimaginable. I don't know what kind of underlying algorithm is required to support such a game. Hearing this word, his face turned serious, and a complicated emotion surged within him. A game? Lin Bai murmured inwardly with doubt. Memories of his previous life flashed like a short film, from the horrific truck accident to the wine jars in the shop, leaving Lin Bai confused about his own reality. Standing in the bustling streets, he wondered what exactly he was in this world full of players. Meanwhile, Jingmi and Laomi began discussing Yumao. What an idiot! You can't log off while being detained unless you delete your account. He just had to test the NPC's bottom line. He's going to suffer. Laomi smirked. Maybe he wanted to go to prison. No matter how real it is, it's still a game. The prison might have hidden storylines. Suddenly, she noticed Lin Bai staring at them. She whispered to Jingmi, "An NPC is staring at us. He seems to be listening to us speak." Jingmi was shocked. How is that possible? We're in a private chat, okay? How could an NPC hear us? Lin Bai thought. So they are in a private chat? And I can actually hear them loud and clear. The two players' conversation continued. He's been staring at us with a perverted look this whole time. Could he be plotting something inappropriate against this lady? How could he? He's just an NPC. On the bright side, this counts as being able to hear the players' inner thoughts. Lin Bai tried his best to gather all useful information. Closed beta with no account wipes, modeled after the real world, high degree of freedom, no game guides, connecting everything. He suddenly realized, no wonder I have so many systems, so I didn't transmigrate to another world, but transmigrated into a game. With a calculating smile, he decided to approach the two players to begin his plan. "Big brother," Lin Bai suddenly shouted and rushed forward with an emotional expression, startling Laomi and Jingmi. Lin Bai's sudden appearance left the two players confused, unable to understand what this NPC wanted. He thought, fooling players is much easier than fooling locals. Lin Bai cupped his hands and bowed politely, his mouth pouring out flattering words. "Earlier, I saw a beam of spiritual light shooting up into the sky in the city, and when I came over, I saw you two dragons among men. According to my ancestral physiognomy, you two are definitely not ordinary beings. Once you meet the wind and clouds, you are bound to transform into dragons." Jingmi pointed at himself innocently and asked, "Me?" While Laomi remained suspicious and cautious. "Don't just believe whatever others say, what if he's a scammer?" Then she leaned close to the man's ear and whispered, "If we really ran into one, the two of us would be completely humiliated on the player forums." Jingmi replied confidently, "Don't panic, I know what I'm doing." Hearing those insults directly, Lin Bai felt slightly uncomfortable, realizing that being cursed right in front of him without being able to retaliate was not a pleasant feeling. He pretended not to hear and continued acting with a sorrowful expression. "It's not surprising that you two are suspicious of me since I approached so abruptly, but your fates are extraordinary. I truly couldn't afford to miss this chance." Laomi shouted angrily, "Then what do you want to do?" Lin Bai persisted in bowing, expressing his wish. "I want to acknowledge you as my big brother, and serve you faithfully from now on, only asking that you lift this little brother up after you strike it rich." Jingmi was completely convinced. Look how sincere this brother is, how could I refuse such a request? Idiot, it's an NPC, it might trigger a key quest. Lin Bai even forced out a few tears to make the act more touching. "Big brother." Jingmi also acted boldly. "Brother. Big brother, brother," the two called out to each other in unison under a radiant glow, ignoring Laomi shouting desperately behind them. He laughed inwardly. Hee hee, players really are easy to fool. The system immediately notified, "Acknowledge a big brother, quest completed, reward, fortune 1 issued." He was shocked. We haven't even exchanged names, and it still counts as completed? Feeling a slight change in his body, he wondered, there doesn't seem to be any change, is 1 point of fortune too little? The system continued, daily quest, an obscure nobody acting as a big brother. Following a coward won't lead to any future. The higher your big brother flies, the greater your gains. Do something to help your big brother make a name for himself. Reward, Fortune 1. Looking at the man, Linbai thought, make a name for himself? That's too easy. Resting his chin on his hand, he thought for a moment, then flattered Jingmi. Big brother, your little brother knows you are destined to soar into the sky. You're just lacking an opportunity. Jingmi was completely stunned by Linbai's words. From what you're saying, does this mean you can issue me a quest? Even Laomi couldn't believe her ears. There's actually a quest? Linbai winked mischievously and gave a thumbs up. That's right, I just want to help you, big brother. Jingmi asked curiously, what is the quest? With a heroic posture, Linbai spoke endlessly. As the sages say, when heaven is about to bestow a great responsibility upon a person, it must first test their mind and will. Hearing this, Jingmi became extremely excited. Which sage said this? It's so eloquent. However, deep down, Linbai was doubtful. He doesn't even know Mencius. Could they not be from Earth? Never mind, now isn't the time to think about this. While walking, he reassured the two, big brother, you have to believe me, I'm doing this to help you. Jingmi curiously said, I definitely believe you, but what are you? Suddenly, Linbai shouted loudly, somebody, come quick. Laomi and Jingmi were startled, not understanding what was happening. With an angry expression, Linbai pointed at the two players and declared loudly, these two are in cahoots with the flower thief. The large shadows of the furious crowd began surrounding Laomi and Jingmi. Linbai added another shock by accusing them of plotting to break into the prison to rescue their accomplice. Jingmi panicked and tried to explain. No, we're... Laomi angrily glared at Linbai and shouted, what are you doing? He pointed at them and continued, you still want to run after I caught you? Don't run. Immediately after, Linbai moved closer and whispered into their ears, big brother, I'm helping you. Hurry up and run first, otherwise we're really going to get surrounded. Seeing the two players running for their lives, Linbai even shouted encouragement behind them, pretending to be a loyal little brother devoted to his big brother. Stopping to watch their figures disappear into the dust, he let out a sigh of relief, secretly admiring the extraordinary escape speed of these players. A satisfied smile appeared on Linbai's lips. It seems for my system quests, I'll have to come to you guys. The system notified. Anger from Laomi and Jingmi +4. Emotion system, collect 10 instances of negative emotions directed at you, 7 out of 10. Reward Spirit 3. Do something to help your big brother make a name for himself, completed, reward Fortune 1. Chief supporting character system, a big brother must be capable. Have your big brother learn a specialty, incomplete, reward Fortune 3. Jingmi and Laomi ran ahead, while behind them a frenzied crowd gave chase. Linbai, hidden within the crowd and eager to stir up trouble, shouted, assist in catching the criminals, the city lord offers a hefty reward. Behind the crowd, Yumao, heavily restrained, stared in stunned disbelief at the escaping players. His face twitched violently. Who the hell is this? I just wanted to experience life in prison, not rot in jail forever. Seeing Yumao's strange expression, two nearby soldiers pressed their swords against his neck and shouted, don't get any funny ideas. Inside, Yumao felt helpless. I'm doomed. Unable to hold it in, he shouted angrily in despair. Who on earth is framing me? Linbai stood leisurely on the street, looking at the system panel before him, muttering, what a pity, there's no activity yet for the quests from the all things are flawed system and the god of cooking system, but with so many players, I'm not worried about not being able to complete them. As Linbai wandered aimlessly down the street, the constables and enthusiastic citizens who had gone to catch crispy rice and sticky rice returned in small groups. Linbai stopped someone and asked, why are you back? What about those two who broke out of jail? Don't mention it, they disappeared after turning a corner, the person replied regretfully. Linbai thought, disappeared suddenly? Did they log off? That makes sense, they are players after all. The people on the street continued discussing. As expected of notorious thieves, they do have a few tricks up their sleeves. From now on, Jiamu's city won't be peaceful. Linbai rubbed his chin and muttered, It seems if I face players in the future, I'll need to figure out a way to restrict them from logging off. The all things are flawed system and the god of cooking system need to get moving too. An hour later, he entered a shop in Tonke Alley. Lin Bai approached a real estate broker and casually placed a large gold ingot on the table. Seeing the gold, the broker's eyes lit up as he eagerly asked, "What are you looking for, guest?" He got straight to the point. "I want to find a place to open a restaurant." The broker smiled widely, becoming even more attentive. "All right, no problem." After a while, the broker brought Lin Bai to see a building. Looking at its exterior, Lin Bai froze for a few seconds before speaking. "It's really impressive that you managed to find such a masterpiece in the massive Jiamu city." The broker laughed. "Guest, look at what you're saying. With the money you offered, only our brokerage could find an entire building for you. Anyone else could only get you a small storefront at best." As soon as he finished speaking, the signboard fell apart, making it look no different from an abandoned warehouse, leaving Lin Bai speechless at this so-called masterpiece. He smiled bitterly. "It is big, I'll give you that. But it's both remote and rundown." The broker said with a smile, "The aroma of good wine fears no deep alley, and being rundown has its own perks, 100 taels, and even the land is yours. This spacious plot of land in front is all." "All right then, I'll take it." Lin Bai interrupted the broker's rambling. "You really want it?" The broker widened his eyes in shock. He continued, "Yes, find me some craftsmen, I'm going to renovate it." The broker ran off grinning. "Wait a moment, I'll go find them right now." Standing in front of the house he had just bought, Lin Bai muttered, "After all, I'm doing this for a system quest, not to actually run a business." While waiting for the craftsman to arrive, "Let me think about how to design it." "What?" a shout from an old man echoed. He was Zhang Chun, a well-known carpenter in the city. He pointed at the signboard lying on the ground and asked, "You want me to make a signboard like this?" Lin Bai replied calmly, "That's right, exactly like this." The two men with him, Feng Lu and Zhang Shuton, began whispering, "Is there something wrong with this boss's head?" "I think so, otherwise why would he buy this haunted?" Hearing this, the broker beside them gave a warning glance. "Hey! Over here!" Zhang Chun stepped on the signboard and shouted angrily, "Making a signboard like this is ruining my own reputation." Lin Bai said calmly, "Oh, I get it." He revealed a smug smile and provoked, "Your skills just aren't up to par, right?" Immediately, Zhang Chun flushed red with anger, and the system reported gaining 1 point of anger from the carpenter. He continued, "I can pay extra if you can do it." The carpenter grew even angrier. "Do you think I'm the type who can be bought with money?" Lin Bai casually used his trump card. "I can increase your wages by 21.3%. If that still doesn't work, then I guess I misjudged you." You have a good eye for people. Can you do it?" "I can." "Great, the signboard is sorted. As for the indoor layout, I also have specific requirements. The tables in the shop can't be standard squares either. Every table must either be missing a corner or have a hole in the middle. The missing corners should ideally be in different places. And the holes shouldn't be round. The 4 table legs can't be the same height. One leg must be shorter than the other 3. And their thickness must be different. The stools must be the same. Custom make a batch of bowls, each with a different chipped edge. And chopsticks, each with a different length and thickness, make them all out of iron. As for the paint job, give me some mismatched color patches." This pile of requirements left the craftsman dizzy as if suffering from vertigo. In short, it has to be repulsive. No, it has to make people experience the essence of flaw. The system kept notifying, depression from Zhang Chun, Feng Lu, and Zhang Shuton +3. Collected 10 instances of negative emotions, 10/10, reward, distributed, make 10 people experience the essence of flaw, 3/10. Lin Bai threw out 3 gold ingots and urged, "Hurry up and get to work." He rubbed his chin and muttered, "This is how money should be spent. I really must thank young Master Luo for the tip. But speaking of young Master Luo, my noble benefactor, I have to mention another person. I wonder if my good big brother is online yet." As soon as he finished speaking, 2 streaks of light suddenly appeared in the sky, falling downward. Seeing it, he wondered, "Is that?" 2 dazzling beams of light tore through the sky, shooting rapidly toward the ground. They landed directly in the center of Jiamu City. While Lin Bai was busy decorating his shop, Jingmi and Laomi quietly logged on in a secluded corner. Jingmi complained, "After playing games for so many years, this is the first time I've been played by an NPC." Laomi asked, "So what do you want to do?" He replied angrily, "What do you think I'll do? Of course it's..." Suddenly an NPC appeared from behind, pointing straight at them and shouting, "The notorious thieves are here." Immediately, the crowd surged forward and surrounded them. "Catch them, quick, go to the magistrate's office and report them, reward of 50 taels of silver." Jingmi quickly raised 2 fingers to his forehead and chanted, "Log off." Laomi also strained and chanted, "Log off." And just like that, both of them disappeared simultaneously, leaving everyone stunned. Where are they? How did they disappear? This again. In some office, a young office worker stood up and slammed the table, shouting, "Why is it endless, when heaven is about to place a great responsibility on a man, but this hardship is way too long?" He angrily typed on the keyboard, muttering, "No way, I need to go on the player forums. This game is definitely realistic, but the difficulty is way too high." The screen displayed the game's logo, Xianxiao World. On a certain forum, top comments, "The most awesome game in history, complete with all 5 senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Entering the game is like transmigrating to another real world. The most frustrating game in history. It's bad enough dealing with 996 in real life, but I can't even find a job in the game. No, I have to give feedback. I want the game to make changes." Just as he was about to post a complaint, he suddenly paused upon seeing a new notification appear. Huh? Official private message. Driven by curiosity, he moved his mouse toward that mysterious message. Official private message. Before breaking the rules, you must first understand the rules, adapt to the rules, and only then can you create the rules. Wishing all players a happy gaming experience. After reading it, he hesitated slightly. This statement. Instead of posting a complaint, he decided to return to the game to go head-to-head with that NPC. Message exchange between Laomi and Jingmi. "Going online again? I can't stand it anymore. Aren't you afraid of being thrown in jail and having your account locked? I think we might have triggered a chain quest. Really, think about it. Why would an NPC frame us for no reason? Also, have you checked the player forums? This is an absolutely realistic world." "Alright, then let's wait until the people blocking us disperse. There shouldn't be anyone left, so let's..." Back in the game, Jingmi was stunned when he looked at the wall in front of him. What the hell is this? A wanted poster? It's way too ugly. Laomi almost fainted upon seeing her own wanted notice. The two looked at the names above their heads and muttered, "Damn, they even have our names. We're completely red-named now. Who did this?" Of course it was me. Yuma was curled up in a corner of the prison, his face bruised from being beaten. He shouted angrily, "I was wrong, those 2 are my accomplices. Somebody come quick, I want to be a tainted witness, go catch them. If no one comes I'm deleting my account, hey." Jingmi sighed helplessly, although he ended up deleting it in the end. Laomi also pondered, if we get caught and thrown in, we'll have no choice but to delete our accounts and change characters. Then she turned to her companion and asked, "What are you doing?" He replied, "We can't get caught, and we can't log off either. If we delete our accounts and start over, this quest might be gone." Laomi was surprised. "So you want to pretend to be a beggar to avoid the wanted poster, and then find that little brother of yours?" Jingmi stood up, his eyes filled with determination. "Exactly. I want to see what kind of trial my little brother has prepared for me." Late at night, at Lin Bai's newly purchased house, he turned to the carpenters who were leaving and said, "Wait, there's only a little bit left. Aren't you going to finish before you leave? I can add more money." Their faces darkened, sweat pouring down as they hurriedly tried to leave the place. Seeing no reply, Lin Bai shouted irritably, "The essence of flaw is what I show others, don't show it to me." The group of craftsmen were too frightened to even look back. The broker beside them trembled and said, "Guests, please don't make it difficult for us, we can't work tonight." Lin Bai said calmly, I knew there had to be a problem with this place being so cheap and desolate. But even if there are local bullies collecting protection fees, it's impossible for them to come at this hour. The broker stammered, "It's not local bullies. It's ghosts." He began explaining, 3 years ago, there was a thunderstorm. Lightning struck this house. At that time, your shop was still a cotton workshop, and a family of 3 lived here. The strange thing is that the building remained completely undamaged after the lightning strike, but the entire family of 3 died. Later, strange noises would always come from inside, making people panic, so they had to hire a Taoist priest to come and exorcise the evil spirits. That Taoist priest said his methods were limited and he could only trap the ghosts inside. After that, they could only use time to slowly wear away its malicious energy. As time passed, no one dared to live nearby either. That's how our brokerage was able to acquire the deeds so cheaply, but it ended up stuck in our hands. Fortunately, we had you, young master. The broker looked at Lin Bai with deep gratitude. Well then, until we meet again. After saying that, he ran off as fast as he could, leaving Lin Bai standing there in confusion. Only then did Lin Bai break out in cold sweat, his face darkening. I was too careless. He looked back at the dilapidated, cobweb-filled house in the darkness and muttered, thinking it might be local bullies or a problem with the housing quality. I actually forgot this is a game. How the hell could a game not have ghosts? Lin Bai sat alone in a daze before the haunted house he had just bought. He gnawed on a fish cake, pondering, what should I do? It seems my fortune value is useless against ghosts. The other things given by the system don't seem to be of much use either. By the time I cultivate it myself, the day will be lost. But even if I get internal energy, it doesn't seem like it can deal with ghosts. The restaurant hasn't opened yet, so the god of cooking system can't settle the rewards. I don't know where my newly acknowledged big brother ran off to, and there's this emotion system. 9 eyes true manual incomplete, obtained, flaw promotion ambassador, make over 50 people deeply comprehend the essence of flaw, reward, 4.9 years of internal energy, emotion system, mischievous actions often make life difficult, enemies gnash their teeth at you, and friends help you break down. Please collect 1 instance of a positive emotion incited by you, reward, Chi Spirit +1. What the hell, I still need positive emotions. For the sake of the all things are flawed system, I've already tormented everyone. Where am I supposed to find positive emotions now? And setting emotions aside for a moment, I couldn't have spent that money for nothing, right? I finally managed to get this hot potato. The brokerage definitely won't refund the money. But if I don't have money, my quest will really be stuck. Thinking about it carefully, it seems I didn't encounter anything during the day. But the presence of ghosts definitely isn't fake, which means something is bound to happen at night. Since it's a game, it's better if I don't challenge the settings. Suddenly, Lin Bai had an idea. Wait! A game. He shouted excitedly. That's right, the only house that wasn't burned down in the big fire, and the ghost trapped inside. Isn't this obviously an instance dungeon? Since it's a dungeon, why should I be the one to handle it? Big brother, your new trial is here. Night fell, and Jammu's city lit up, creating a lively scene. The streets were bustling, with all kinds of vendors lining the road. Sweet peaches, juicy peaches freshly picked from the tree, flatbreads, dates nut cake, candied hawthorn sticks. Lin Bai strolled past the tall buildings, hearing the alluring calls of the girls, "Sir, come and play." He stopped to observe this luxurious place. Lin Bai happily muttered, "My big brother will definitely be in this kind of place. Let me go forth and explore the tiger's den." At that moment, a sharp smack rang out along with a slap across his face. Suddenly, a sharp reprimand reached Lin Bai's ears. "Who is it, seeing through my true nature at a single glance? Why visit a brothel if you have no money?" Lin Bai turned to look, so they weren't talking about me. It was an effortless find. Above the young man's head, a name shone brightly, Dragon Breath. The young man collapsed onto the street, while the guard angrily pointed at him and shouted, "Is this a place you can just walk into?" The young man said indignantly, "What? Just because I have no money means I can't come in?" Looking at the young man, then at the flashy pleasure house, Lin Bai sighed inwardly. Speaking of which, this game is a bit too realistic, right? It even has this kind of feature. Not at all angered by being thrown out, but instead laughing cheerfully, the young man declared, "You're kicking me out now, but in a few days you'll be begging me to come back with an 8-bearer sedan chair." Standing behind the player, Lin Bai said casually, "Brother, your words are mistaken." He stepped forward, slung an arm over the young man's shoulder, and continued, "Your words lack a bit of imposing manner." Dragon Breath asked in confusion, "Imposing manner? What imposing manner?" Then he quickly shook off Lin Bai's hand and shouted in surprise, "By the way, who are you?" Lin Bai smiled meaningfully and said, "I am an enthusiastic passerby here to correct your phrasing. You need to say it like this." After speaking, he took a deep breath, stood straight with confidence, and declared loudly, 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river, do not bully the youth for being poor." Hearing this, Dragon Breath was extremely impressed, his tone full of admiration. "Brilliant," like that saying. Unable to suppress his curiosity, the young man stepped forward and asked, "Is there more? Is there more?" Lin Bai replied calmly, "There are no more words, but there is a matter at hand. My dear brother, what's the point of visiting the Chiahong brothel during such a great time? I have something much more thrilling here. Do you want to do it?" "More thrilling? Becoming a man? Where did your mind wander?" "I just feel this kind of thing must be done by a chosen one." "Chosen one? Stop pretending. I met an immortal before." He said, "A group of chosen ones with strange behavior have recently entered the world, and they are bound to stir up the winds and clouds." Dragon Breath was shocked to the core. Holy crap, so it's a story NPC. Unable to contain his excitement, he tensed his muscular body and shouted loudly, "That's right, I am a chosen one." Then he looked at Lin Bai with a confident gaze and asked, "Do you have any guests for me?" Lin Bai was stunned. "Holy crap, why are you taking off your clothes?" Dragon Breath changed his pose, flexing his arm muscles, and said, "Never mind why, just tell me if my behavior is strange or not." Lin Bai replied, "Strange, how strange? So whatever quest you have, give it to me quickly, I'll complete it even if I die. Since you're so reliable, I'll get straight to the point." A quest panel appeared with the content, "I am a chef with culinary skills passed down through my family. Who would have thought my hometown would be struck by a disaster, leaving me as the only survivor of my family? I brought all my belongings and wandered to Jiamu City, spending my entire fortune to buy a storefront. I originally thought I could take root here and branch out, but unexpectedly, I was deceived by that damned brokerage. Fortunately, heaven always leaves a way out, and I actually managed to find a chosen one, the gods be praised. Could the young hero help me clean up the shop? Yes or no?" Looking at the quest panel, Dragon Breath couldn't help but mutter excitedly, "A true story NPC. I struck it rich, I struck it rich." He thumped his chest, his voice full of determination. "Since you're begging me so much." He suddenly remembered something and said, "Wait. Where's the reward? Where's my huge quest reward?" When he asked about the reward, Lin Bai immediately changed his tone and calmly replied, "What reward? Aren't you a great chosen one who seeks neither fame nor fortune? It seems I found the wrong person." Seeing Lin Bai's disappointed expression as he turned to leave, Dragon Breath hurried to explain, No, I was just joking, how could you take it seriously?" Afraid of losing such a good quest, Dragon Breath quickly shouted, "This is me lending a helping hand out of a sense of justice, just lead the way." Then, Lin Bai led his prey straight to the haunted house, not forgetting to add the words young hero, making him feel immensely pleased. Gazing at the desolate shop stranded in what seemed like the middle of nowhere, Dragon Breath felt an involuntary shiver crawl down his spine. He swallowed nervously. "No, brother, let me ask you this. Were you actually scammed? I mean, it feels like tricking someone into taking over a place like this would be nearly impossible." Lin Bai nodded calmly, borrowing the exact polished sales tactics of a young tooth line agent. "Not at all. There's zero nearby competition. Transportation here is excellent. Customers can park with ease, and..." Dragon Breath stared at Lin Bai with deep sympathy. "Wow, you really are a once-in-a-generation business genius. As for what happens next..." Lin Bai had just begun elaborating when Dragon Breath abruptly cut him off. Just leave everything to me, this quest genius. With casual ease, Lin Bai passed the lantern in his hand over to Dragon Breath and let out a weary sigh. Bro, my life and fortune are all resting in your hands now. Clutching the lantern tightly, Dragon Breath boldly stepped into the abandoned house under the cover of night. The instant he crossed the threshold, a bone-piercing chill raced down his spine, while from deep within the darkness, an unseen gaze watched in eerie silence. Immediately afterward, a ghastly hand seized his arm, and Dragon Breath's lantern flickered once before being extinguished. The moment the player entered the shop, Lin Bai's smile vanished entirely. He fixed his gaze upon the pitch-black entrance, every nerve alert as he listened carefully for movement from within. Suddenly realizing something, he hastily leaped several paces backward and thought, making a move already. Dragon Breath's voice rang out from inside, laced with mockery. Big brother, can you handle it? A woman's furious scolding voice erupted from within. Scram, don't disturb our lives. Dragon Breath shamelessly grinned and answered, hee hee, so it's actually a female ghost. Perfect, I just came back from the brothel. The moment her voice disappeared, it was as though a violent storm tore through the house, followed by loud crashing noises before a rough male voice thundered, Don't flirt with my wife. Lin Bai's vision blurred, and suddenly a dark silhouette came hurtling out of the shop, crashing heavily at his feet amid swirling dust. As expected of the chosen one, truly not picky whatsoever. Lin Bai feigned concern as he questioned him, while Dragon Breath stubbornly insisted he was unharmed. Secretly, Lin Bai mused, surviving even this. Players really do lead tough lives. Lin Bai revealed a subtle, meaningful smile. I think so too. How about giving it another try? Staring at his swollen, bruised face, Dragon Breath hesitated uneasily. Well, Lin Bai immediately provoked him. If you can't handle it, I'll simply find someone else. In an instant, Dragon Breath sprang up and charged directly back toward the haunted house, shouting, No need for anyone else, this is my quest. Refusing to surrender his opportunity, the young man charged headlong into the haunted house once more with fierce determination. Another enraged scram rang out, and once again he was blasted through the air in precisely the same fashion. This particular landing looked especially agonizing, as Dragon Breath plunged face first into the dirt right before Lin Bai's feet. Struggling painfully back onto his feet, he cursed helplessly, utterly overwhelmed by the ghost's terrifying strength. Lin Bai approached him, rested a supportive hand upon his shoulder, and said, I heard that this ghost has managed to occupy this place, because it possesses a hidden treasure on its body. The moment he heard the word treasure, Dragon Breath's eyes immediately blazed with excitement, all fear from moments earlier instantly forgotten. Equipment, here I come. Filled with renewed enthusiasm, he charged off once more, leaving Lin Bai behind laughing uncontrollably. But cruel reality struck him again, as Dragon Breath was mercilessly kicked straight back out. Battered black and blue by the ghost, he clutched his head miserably and wailed, I seriously can't do this anymore. Hearing this, Lin Bai immediately countered, You haven't actually done anything yet, so how can you claim you can't? Dragon Breath pointed blankly at his swollen, battered face and asked, Haven't done anything? Me? His face had swollen into something resembling a steamed bun, and he was utterly dumbfounded by Lin Bai's words. Lin Bai immediately resumed lecturing. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will win 100 battles if you've truly tried your best. After entering so many times, you shouldn't still be unable to explain how many ghosts are inside and what they look like, right? Dragon Breath asked suspiciously. With your silver tongue, how exactly did the brokerage ever convince you to buy this haunted dump? Though his entire body trembled from pain, he still forced himself upright, his tone unwavering. Say no more. I will absolutely investigate everything clearly for you. Burning with renewed determination, Dragon Breath once more charged directly into the haunted house. Sprinting forward with tears streaming down his face, he screamed, I'll risk everything. Watching from behind, Lin Bai curled his lips into a sly smirk. Players really are useful, what a shame. He suddenly thought, why does my system require positive emotions right now, after I've toyed with this kid so thoroughly? His mental state should have shattered long ago. A blood-curdling scream suddenly erupted from deep inside the house, instantly tightening the atmosphere. Save me. Dragon Breath desperately crawled out through the green mist, shrieking for help in utter terror. His fingers clawed frantically at the earth, leaving bloody trails scraped across the ground. The ghost's furious roar thundered behind him. You bastard, I've spared you over and over, yet you refuse to stop. Now I must teach you a proper lesson. Dragon Breath was violently sent flying once again, blood spraying from his nose as his injuries grew visibly severe. Collapsing heavily onto the ground, he coughed blood before staring at Lin Bai and asking, "Tell me honestly, were you sent here by this ghost to find a scapegoat?" Lin Bai replied calmly, "Chosen One, why would you say something like that?" His expression abruptly turned grave as he glanced toward the player and asked, "Haven't you realized it yet?" Dragon Breath, his swollen eyes nearly shut, asked blankly, "Realized what?" Lin Bai explained steadily, "This ghost doesn't actually dare to kill, otherwise, with your abilities, I'm afraid. Well, there's really no need for you to finish the rest. But at this point, I won't keep pretending anymore, my level and equipment simply aren't enough, it seems like." Lin Bai gently patted his shoulder and comforted him. "Actually, I knew all along that you were still too young, not nearly as powerful as the immortals claimed." "Then what exactly is with that expression on your face?" Lin Bai solemnly clasped his hands and launched into his familiar speech. "Because even after hearing of my hardship, young hero, you still came here without the slightest hesitation. This noble spirit alone is more than enough to prove your future will shine beyond imagination. Within you, I see the bearing of a great emperor." Hearing such intoxicating praise, Dragon Breath was utterly overjoyed, his eyes wide and mouth agape as he wondered, "Am I really that extraordinary?" A system notification suddenly appeared, touch +1 from Dragon Breath. Reward Aura 1 issued. With positive emotion unlocked, collect 10 instances of positive emotions triggered by you, reward Aura 3. Lin Bai thought inwardly, so positive emotions can be farmed simply by feeding them motivational nonsense? Players truly are my lucky stars. Dragon Breath was so moved he nearly burst into tears, boldly declaring, "Say no more, brother, leave it all to me." Lin Bai couldn't help but feel a slight pang of guilt. "You acting like this honestly makes me feel too ashamed to keep scamming you." Dragon Breath's eyes suddenly sharpened with steely determination, every trace of fear vanishing completely. The young man immediately drew out his butcher knife, causing even Lin Bai to freeze in stunned disbelief. He declared, "You just said this ghost doesn't dare kill anyone, and that gave me an idea. I'm not afraid of dying anyway, so I'll trade my life to drag this ghost down with me." With those words, he gripped his blade tightly and charged straight into the haunted house with suicidal resolve. As an undercover operative hidden among the NPC, Lin Bai had always possessed an uncanny talent for striking directly at the player's most fragile emotional core. In order to secure the NPC's trust and preserve the hard-earned mission he had fought for, Dragon Breath believed he absolutely had to uphold the pride and dignity of the Chosen One. Thus, beneath Lin Bai's encouraging stare, this mere level 1 novice once more raised his kitchen knife and boldly confronted the seemingly impossible mission, roaring aloud. "You're emotionless, aren't you?" The male ghost snapped back furiously. "Do you really think I won't kill you?" Dragon Breath fearlessly provoked. "You ghosts, don't just talk big. If you want to kill me, do it today." In an instant, the male ghost seized Dragon Breath's knife-wielding arm and threatened him with savage hostility. "You want to die? I'll grant your wish." Witnessing this, the female ghost immediately panicked and cried out anxiously, "Anan, no, we've already endured for 3 years. If you kill him and turn into a vengeful ghost, everything we've worked so hard for will be wasted." Then, a young and unfamiliar female voice rang out clearly from within, "Dad, let's endure a bit longer. Big brother outside, please leave." Hearing those words, coupled with everything that had unfolded, Lin Bai silently analyzed. They don't dare kill because they fear becoming vengeful ghosts. Even my random guess was actually right? Impossible. How can ghosts' words be trusted? Better stay cautious. After briefly considering the situation, Lin Bai deliberately called out, "Young hero, if it's too much, let's retreat. I can find someone else." Dragon Breath spun around instantly and proclaimed with righteous determination, I am set on doing this quest. You are not allowed to find anyone else. I'm dying right here today. And indeed, once someone was utterly determined to die, no force could stop them. Despite the female ghost's frantic pleas for her husband to remain calm, and despite the young girl ghost's tearful begging for Lin Bai to restrain his reckless companion from throwing his life away, nothing could extinguish Dragon Breath's overwhelming desire for death. I can't take it anymore. The male ghost bellowed in uncontrollable fury before unleashing all his power and violently slashing his claws toward his enemy. At last, Dragon Breath had successfully driven the male ghost beyond reason, causing him to completely lose control and instantly obliterate him. Ha ha ha, I'm dead. Dragon Breath laughed with immense satisfaction before his body gradually dissipated and vanished entirely into nothingness. A moment later, Dad. A sorrowful, grief-stricken cry resounded from deep inside the shop. Gazing into the shop while listening to the anguished sobs within, Lin Bai pondered inwardly. Although I've accomplished my objective, players truly are far too troublesome. Helping me is one thing, but if we become enemies someday. He stepped toward the weeping little girl and asked in genuine confusion. Speaking of which, the one who obviously died was the young hero. Why are you crying for your dad? Her crying abruptly ceased, and in the next moment, the little girl suddenly lunged toward the entrance, attempting to slam directly into Lin Bai. Yet just as she reached him, a brilliant white light erupted, violently hurling her backward as though she had collided with an invisible wall. Furious beyond reason, she frantically pounded her tiny fists against the unseen barrier and shrieked hysterically, "It's all your fault! It's all your fault! If you hadn't made your father kill someone, he would have had a chance to become a spirit cultivator instead of a vengeful ghost. You bad man, you ruined everything for Dad, I hate you. Is this the protective barrier left behind by that Taoist priest? The ghost can't come out." After confirming that the ghost truly could not leave the shop, Lin Bai finally relaxed and let out a relieved breath. Then let's chat. At that moment, the little ghost glared viciously at Lin Bai, blood-like tears streaming endlessly down her face. I have nothing to say to you. I'm definitely not going to tell you. That Taoist Li was the one who saved our souls after the fire back then. And he set up an immortal technique, letting us cultivate our moral character here for 10 years, waiting for a turning point. Without Lin Bai even asking a single question, she had already exposed everything, causing him to silently muse. So that's how it is. But something still feels off. This Taoist Li's logic and actions don't quite add up. Seeing Lin Bai's doubtful expression, the little ghost immediately flew into a rage and shouted, "You're not allowed to question Taoist Li." At that very moment, the male ghost, appearing to be a man in his 50s, slowly manifested at the doorway, dressed in blue robes with an icy expression, while dark energy coiled ominously around him. Lin Bai replied, all right, let's change the topic. I just feel that turning into a vengeful ghost from killing someone is a bit unreliable. Just like your dad, he doesn't look like he's changed at all." Upon hearing this, the male ghost furiously retorted, "You'll know if it's reliable if you come try it. If I can kill one, I can kill a few more." Looking calmly at the ghost standing behind the threshold, Lin Bai declared with certainty, "Calm down, you should have realized it yourselves too. You really haven't become vengeful ghosts, of course. Perhaps your 3 years of cultivation were effective, and killing one person isn't enough to change you yet. What are you trying to say?" Lin Bai faced the 3 ghosts and casually waved the deed in his hand. "I want to say cherish this time before you've changed, because I can easily trick more people into coming here whenever I want. If you don't wish to kill again, then vacate the land I purchased." Do I really need to explain how troublesome that young hero just now was? I don't believe you can find someone that stupid. Besides, this is our home. The male ghost roared furiously, his entire form trembling violently from rage. Lin Bai smiled faintly. "In my understanding, a ghost's home should be a graveyard. Also, while fools may be rare, finding a Taoist priest is always possible." What do you want to do?" The male ghost roared, his twisted expression revealing visions of utter destruction, while the dark aura around him quivered violently. Lin Bai swept his gaze over the ghost family and arched his brow. "Taoist Li may be compassionate enough to let you remain here for 10 years, but there will always be others willing to act for money." He silently concluded, There is absolutely something suspicious about this Taoist Li, allowing such valuable land to remain abandoned for 10 whole years. Lin Bai continued smoothly. I don't want my investment to be wasted in the slightest, so spending a little extra doesn't bother me, but I'm also kind-hearted like Taoist Li, so I'm willing to offer you a chance. What chance? The 3 Apiaos instantly shed their fury, and hope suddenly ignited in their eyes. Stroking his chin, Lin Bai inwardly sneered. They believed it that easily, truly simple-minded, that Taoists really fooled these idiots thoroughly. He proposed, I'll only use the restaurant during the day, the night belongs to you, as long as you don't cause trouble during this period. I naturally won't consider getting rid of you. The male ghost hesitantly asked, Is this okay? Won't the living people coming and going be hindered by us? Yeah, humans and ghosts are on different paths. Is it really fine? Lin Bai answered with a warm smile. I am doing this for your own good. You need human vitality so that you won't turn into vengeful ghosts. It can be like this? The closer you remain to living people, the farther you drift from true ghosthood, which is also beneficial for a child's growth. I see, that actually makes sense. Yes, how could we possibly keep you from seeing people? Big brother, it turns out you're not a bad guy. Of course, I am a good person. Confidence from Song Jinan, Wuxiuxiu, and Song Link +3. Collect 10 portions of positive emotion mobilized by you, March 10th. Reward, Aura +3. Holy crap, this actually works. Once this place becomes crowded enough, you all might even reincarnate directly. Who still needs cultivation after that anyway? Just a few days ago, I even persuaded some young master to give up on pursuing immortality. The gratitude gifts they handed over afterward were enough for me to buy this entire shop. Think about it, rich people may be wicked, but none of them are fools, right? That's true, boss, your method really does suit us far better. Exactly, just follow me from now on and your future won't go wrong. Looking at it this way, if they're all so easy to fool, then maybe that Taoist wasn't all that incredible after all. Boss, what exactly are you searching for? I'm searching for that young hero. Boss, listen to yourself talk about collecting the corpse and everything. What the hell, where did he disappear to? Just as I suspected. I definitely killed him here, he died right in this spot, so why is there no trace of him anywhere? Did I somehow fail to kill him and only scare him away? No wonder I never turned into a vengeful spirit. No, you absolutely killed him, with the temperament of a player. No, a chosen one. Even if he fled, he would never abandon all his equipment and money behind. Only someone genuinely dead would leave things like that behind. Just like that Taoist, chosen ones all possess strange abilities. Even while weak, they're still incredibly hard to truly kill. Then what if he comes back for revenge on us? If people like that can't be killed, even ghosts wouldn't dare provoke them. I'm so tired I could sleep forever. Relax. When the time comes, I'll personally explain everything to him on your behalf. Whether he's dead or not, he still suffered losses. He won't be returning anytime soon. Besides, all chosen ones are basically beginners right now, so your danger isn't actually that high. And think carefully. If dying during the beginner stage carries penalties, then those players should value their lives a little more. Honestly, I might even be able to turn things around and start hunting them instead. This setting is complete garbage, dropping everything when you die. What kind of cursed mechanic is that? It's basically forcing people to delete their accounts and reroll. There's no way I'm going back for my gear. I can't defeat that family anyway, and if I ask the quest giver for compensation, the quest itself might get cancelled. This game is way too realistic. If you have no money for food, you'll literally starve to death. I finally managed to get a quest. I can't just... Boo-hoo, kind sirs, spare some change. Right, for something as basic as eating, why bother paying? Begging still gets food. Maybe I should just... No way, if that boss sees me like this, where would my dignity as a chosen one go? What if he thinks I'm unreliable and cuts off the quest entirely? Right, I'll log out first and see whether there's another solution. Ha! Lao mi Jingmi. Kind people, please show mercy. Our hometown was flooded, and my little sister and I lost everything. Now we're stranded in an unfamiliar city and haven't eaten for 3 whole days. Thank you, kind people, Thank you so much. May good people live safely their whole lives, may heaven bless you all. What the hell, you really became a beggar? What else am I supposed to do? Jiamu's city is enormous, and we're wanted fugitives on top of everything else. How else are we supposed to wait for my little brother to appear? This is seriously humiliating. It's just a game. If you can't let go of your pride, then what's the point of playing? Besides, we're the only beggars in this entire night market right now. The income's actually pretty good. Then take your time earning money. I'm going to browse the forums instead. I'm absolutely settling the score with my little brother. No matter what, I'm waiting until he shows himself. So, please spare some coins. Your humble servant lost his parents at the age of 3. My family storyline ended after episode 1. At 4, the puppy I relied on ran away with the neighbor's cat, leaving me alone to endure betrayal. At 5, I wandered the Jianghu carrying only half a steamed bun. At 6, I found a master, and he declared I was a once-in-a-century financial burden. At 7. At 8. At 9. At 10. Too tragic. Stop singing already. What? I was only just getting into the mood. How did you log back in so quickly? Some high-level player uploaded a guide onto the forums. Thank you, big sister. May blessings follow you your whole life. What kind of guide? Don't tell me it's another scam like before. It's a guide about obtaining a profession. You possess remarkable talent in this area. I'm glad you're willing to become my apprentice. From now onward, stay here and learn blacksmithing from me. Real-world knowledge can actually interact with the game? This game is different from every game before it. Honestly, it feels more like we transmigrated into another world. But that's not even the important part. It's that metallurgy boss. They actually unlocked the blacksmith profession. The guide's author said that compared to leveling and fighting monsters, learning how to blend into this world is even more important. Blend in? It really does seem that way. What's wrong? See for yourself. Game log. Began begging. Gained 2 copper coins. Gained 1 copper coin. Gained. Through begging. Earned 30 copper coins. Unlocked profession. Beggar level 3? Let me see that. What kind of nonsense is this? I slept for that long? Am I seriously being awakened by system notifications now? A proper big brother must possess strength. Completed. Have your big brother learn a specialty. Big brother's profession confirmed as beggar. Reward, luck +3. A big brother's tiny step becomes your giant leap. An indecisive big brother is doomed to achieve nothing. Therefore establishing firm conviction for him is necessary. Reward, luck +3. What the hell? What exactly did this guy do? And since when did begging become a legitimate specialty? And now it wants me to strengthen my big brother's conviction to make him remain a beggar forever? Then what am I supposed to become? The deputy chief of the beggars sect? No way, there's absolutely no future in being a beggar in this world, no matter how I think about it. There's no way to build up his conviction for that, if big brother's career ends up obstructing little brother's development. Then I can only wrong you, big brother, and force you to re-roll your account. Big brother, your little brother is coming for you now. I should first find somewhere to eat, then ask around a bit. While I'm at it, I can also observe how other shops operate. Welcome. Honored guest, you truly came to the right place. The dishes in our shop are exceptionally delicious. The service here seems excellent too. You deserve a tip. A tip? In other words, a reward. Ah, thank you for the reward, honored guest. Joy from Lu Chun +1. Just as I expected, positive emotions really aren't difficult to trigger. And pay-to-win strategies are always effective too, although there should still be other methods. Thank you so much, honored guest. If there's anything else you require, simply give the order. There's no need to thank me, because you, Lu Chun, truly deserve it. I've traveled countless places over the years, and you're the most energetic waiter I've ever met. Joy from Lu Chun +1. Honest, tactful, and quick at work, someone like you will definitely become a boss one day. Joy from Lu Chun +1. Trust my judgment, and trust yourself as well. Confidence from Lu Chun +1. Waiter, bring another pot of wine. Coming, why are you rushing? Sorry about that, honored guest, please continue your meal. It's fine, go take care of your work, I'm not in any hurry. You truly are my kindred spirit. From now on, I'll personally serve you whenever you come. He's basically a walking goldmine. I'm almost done with the mission already. Collect 10 instances of positive emotions caused by you, 9 out of 10, reward charisma +3. 1 hour later. Not only did I make progress on the quest, I also found clues on how to locate my big brother. Oh, big brother, here I come. What are you doing? Sorry about this, brother. It's useless even if you do this. If I don't know, then I truly don't know. The person you're searching for genuinely isn't here. Eh? What filthy thing is this? Okay then, let me ask a different way. Tell me where your beggar sect leader is. Sir, you may be generous, but there really isn't any beggar sect around here. Is there none, or are you just too low level to know about it? Who knows, either way, the result's the same, there isn't one. If there's no beggar sect, what's my big bro doing begging? That's a pretty niche hobby. Then let me put it another way, who's backing you beggars here? Now that I can answer. If you want to beg here, you've got to have someone solid watching your back. Don't tell me big bro really triggered some hidden quest. And that person is... Who could it be? Why, our wise and valiant, kind and compassionate Lord City Master, who allows us to beg here, of course. Seriously, dude? You're laying it on that thick? You jest, sir. Every word comes straight from my heart. That said, I've never heard anyone ask about this kind of thing before. You're not some undercover investigator, are you? In that case, I meant every word even more. I haven't done anything wrong. All right, as an official of this. Ahem, I'm not here to cause you trouble. I just have something else I need to ask. Scared me half to death. Ease from Lee Erga +1, collect 10 positive emotions, completed, reward charisma +3, issued. Congratulations, you have begun to grasp the mysteries of both negative and positive emotions. Please choose your task direction. 1. Positive emotions. 2. Negative emotions. So I'm planting a seed and choosing which way it grows, huh? Do I even need to think about it? Heh. A great, virtuous man like me obviously has to choose positive emotions. Congratulations, you have planted a negative emotion tree. Since you have begun to grasp the use of emotions, unless special circumstances arise, the system will no longer assign targeted quests. Please actively collect negative emotions. Every 10 people's worth of negative emotions allows you to water the growth tree once. Watering helps the tree grow. Each growth stage will automatically increase your spirit. When the tree bears fruit, the positive emotion tree will be unlocked. How could I have clicked the wrong one? At this rate, I haven't even had the chance to do much good yet. Unavailable, my ass, this is a total scam. Dear system, you're really making my life miserable here. I've got no choice, you're the one forcing me down the villain route. Why do I feel like this lord suddenly seems more impressive? He really must be some secret investigator. Charisma +3 is pretty handy, makes questioning people much easier. Lord sir, should I call all the stewards from the south side of the city over? No need, I trust you. Thank you, my lord. Don't mention it. If they all really came, how would I keep playing the undercover card? Do you know there were bandits trying to break into the prison yesterday? Of course, the wanted posters are up everywhere. Huh! They're wanted now? No wonder Big Bro ended up as a beggar. It really was his only option. From how the players acted, it seems you can't log out once you're in jail. Now that Big Bro's wanted, things just got easier. Go inform Steward Luquan that those 2 bandits never left. They've disguised themselves as beggars to scout the area. Tell him to hurry up and arrest them. Isn't that throwing us paupers under the cart? Don't worry, I'll definitely pass the message on. Within half an hour, they'll surely be in chains. Once you spot them, send them straight to the authorities. You can take the credit. I have other business and can't reveal my identity. Understood. Big bro. This way we don't have to turn on each other after all. Of course, if you can slip through this dragnet, or even hold out in prison without deleting your account, then I'll gladly recognize you as my big bro for real, and after that, I'll come for you myself. Can't be helped, right now, I can only work with negative emotions. The system is leading me astray. Now I've got to not only scam you, but also rush to push my other systems forward. Otherwise, who knows when someone will show up and beat me half to death. In theory, anything I personally have made, as long as someone sees it, they should experience the beauty of imperfection. So why hasn't the system progress moved at all? Does it only count if I personally hand the stuff over? Hey, second bro, is that idiot sick in the head or what? Perfectly good table and he insists on punching a hole in it. Zhang Bao. If he wasn't sick, would he have bought a haunted shop? Zhang Hu, we'd better not work too fast. If he finds out the place is haunted, he might cancel the job. If we make the furniture this messed up, even scrap buyers won't want it, then we can just eat his deposit. No wonder the progress bar hasn't moved, these guys are totally slacking off. So this is how you all work, huh? Get Zhang Chun out here. Who the hell are you to talk to us like that? You got a death wish? I'm that sick idiot you were just talking about. You are? Sir, please have a seat. Left character, at least you know how to read the room. Can we do it or not? If you can't, then give my deposit back. Boss, it's really not that we're dragging our feet on purpose. Zhang Chun. Still trying to make excuses? Crap, boss. This is? Boss, you can feel it yourself, this custom furniture really is hard to make. So just give it a bit more time, once it's done, I'll deliver everything together. I heard you loud and clear just now, you two were planning to scam my deposit. Heaven and earth be my witness, we just don't want you to take a loss, you don't know the half of it. That whole family already agreed. Sir, you can't just say things like that. That scared, huh? Then this will be easy. Song Ji Nan. Wife, Wu Xiuxiu. Daughter Song Ling. Sir, that's not our names. But you know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you? Set opt, I'm not the only one in a hurry to open this place, if you don't want to talk to me. Then tonight the shop can send a different spokesperson to negotiate. Fear from Zhang Chun, Zhang Hu, and Zhang Bao +3. Please don't. If you don't want that, then get to work properly. Tomorrow morning, I expect the signboard and all the tables and chairs delivered. Absolutely no problem. We've got a deal, sir, just make sure you're here. He. I'll be here, alright. I just hope this really works. Fear from Zhang Chun, Zhang Hu, and Zhang Bao +3. After that scare, they definitely won't dare slack off on me. But if the carpenters are like this, the others probably aren't any better. Looks like I'll have to go around threatening them. I mean, motivating them one by one. Player ID, Dang Li Budwa. Senior, who was that guy? Slen, he looked like he scared Master stiff. It's boiling hot in here, but Master's literally shaking. You don't want the next visitor to be someone other than me, right? I really don't. Then it's settled. Negative emotion tree has been watered twice. Having something ruthless backing you really does speed things up. That whole ghost family is insanely useful. They not only help me pressure people, they're even helping me grow my tree. And there's already a player who's worked his way into the smithy, but for now, it's better not to make contact. If he pokes through my paper tiger act, I'm in trouble. I really don't have any quests for him, and a player who's already got something going is hard to scam. Master, what was up with that guy just now? What was up? I was about to ask the same thing. He's a complete lunatic. Nothing he does is what a normal person would do. First he bought that whole burned out lot. Then he actually wants to open a shop there. He even talked that whole dead family into agreeing. Now I'm stuck. Paying out of my own pocket to make this freak furniture. If you don't want the job, Master, why not just return his money? You think I don't want to? If we quit, it won't be that kid coming to negotiate with me next time. So you're scared of the ghost showing up at your door. Tell me he isn't sick in the head. From a normal person's point of view, of course he is, Master. But from the game's point of view, he's a legendary NPC. I've got to get a quest from him. Master, let me handle the delivery tomorrow. You. The senior brothers all look terrified. Better to let the new guy take this one. Kind-hearted and talented, you really are a good disciple to your master. Don't get all touched. If it weren't for the class, I wouldn't even be here. Then you can go tomorrow. Many thanks, master. Tomorrow, forget tomorrow. I'm here for revenge today, tomorrow. I was too reckless before. Why on earth would I fight a ghost at night? Let's see what you can do to me in broad daylight. A dumb ghost who only knows how to brute force things is perfect for testing my sword. I burned through my gear on purpose, suiciding over and over with that exploit I found on the forum just to reroll this set. At least let me pick up what dropped. No way. NPC can loot a player's corpse too? Or maybe another player came by. But there's literally nothing here. Don't tell me someone snatched my quest. It's only been one night, boss. You already forgot about me? No, look on the bright side. Maybe the boss just went out. The ghosts won't show up in the daytime anyway. The boss is definitely waiting for me to come back tonight. That's it. No one's stealing my quest. The boss was right. Chosen ones really don't die that easily. Good thing Big Brother promised to only use the place during the day, so this guy won't be causing trouble nonstop. See? He's already leaving. Which means it's my grinding time. What is that kid even doing? I've got to level up before the other players, or I'll never get the boss first kill. Was that a player? Why is he running so fast? Probably triggered a quest or something. Unlike us, stuck here begging all day, that little bro of yours is definitely just playing you. Relax, worst case, we both go to the city lord's manor and turn ourselves in. Maybe we can explain that we're not actually bandits, and if it doesn't work out, we just reroll. I still think it'd be better to just... Hey, isn't that your little bro? What little? Little bro? My little bro is... Little bro, you there? Big bro's right here. Little what? Looking like that and you still dare say that out loud. No wonder you were imitating our beggar sect. Hand them straight to the magistrate for the reward. Let's see how far sweet talk gets you then. Big bro. At this rate you'll be chained from head to toe. There's no way they'll reduce your sentence now. You even tried changing clothes to escape capture. They might stack extra charges on top. Big bro, you're totally screwed. I'm supposed to be sad right now. No, I am sad. Sad that Big Bro's life in prison is going to be rough. But something feels off. This game is a little too realistic. Even a bunch of beggars are this brave. But if this were real life, with players kicking up a fuss like that, the authorities wouldn't stay this quiet. Forget it. I'd better focus on my own quests. What the? Why are there so many players over there? No way, I have to go see what's going on. So it's a crowd lining up to join a martial hall. No wonder there are so many of them. Figures, for players, nothing beats the thrill of combat. If someone's already thought to join a smithy, then of course a martial hall that clearly screams combat content would have a long line too. If I remember right, there are 3 martial halls in Jammu City that accept outside disciples, and each of the 3 belongs to a different power. Zhang Family Fist Hall, which teaches the linked 5 elements fist. The Gale Gang, which controls the transport trade, stands behind this one. Mo Family Sword Hall. Mo Family Sword Hall, which passes down the family sword arts. Most of their disciples end up as personal guards for the nobles. Wu Family Blade Hall. Famous for its blade techniques, supposedly no weaker than Thousand Hands. They not only run an escort agency, but also seem to have ties to the military. That's all you can dig up on the surface. Anything deeper is out of my reach. Still, even this much makes it obvious. They want me to help filter early game quests. When it comes to combat, I need to get a solid grasp on the situation, and how will players actually join a martial hall. You just pay. Player ID, Shangguan Taiju. You just pay, he says like it's that easy. Player ID Bittergourd. It's a closed beta with no top-up option. Where are we supposed to get money for the fee? Basic martial skills are just a stepping stone, and even then they won't let us register directly. This game is way too tedious. The harder the game, the better the challenge. Hey, you two, knock it off already. I do have a way to get money, but it's a bit risky, and we'll have to trust each other. It's a fresh account, I'm not afraid of risk. Or getting scammed, just say it. Worst case, we delete and reroll. That's right, we are going to delete. I thought players being unafraid of death was already bad enough. Now there are people who don't even fear deleting their accounts.